All right, here we go. Last week of the season. Heading in Colorado State Saturday. Back up, New Mexico here Wednesday. Okay, so we got one last home game in New Mexico. Team at one point was 15-2 in the league, and now they're 17-12, and had some guys in and out, and some guys in and out, and still some guys in and out. So they played yesterday against Boise and lost at Boise State, but had two guys that really didn't play that. So I don't know who they're going to play. We're trying to figure that out. They've had some guys in and out, but we'll figure that out because he started a guy that didn't play all year in the game yesterday, and then played a walk-on. There's some guys had career-high minutes yesterday, and for whatever reason. So, but we'll plan ahead. They're big, athletic, and shoot the ball well. We played really well down there at the pit, and that's been 8 years ago. We think we lost by 6 at that point. So that one here, and then Colorado State. Our big thing this week is to get better, gain some momentum, obviously win 2 games. If you have an opportunity to win 2 games, you're playing 2 games, and then head into Mount West. We're probably locked into the 8-9 game right now, and that could be playing Fresno, who we played last Wednesday. Played well for the most part in that game, or it could be New Mexico again, who we're going to play this Wednesday. That's probably our matchups, I would say, right, Nick? I don't think there's more that could move in there. So we'll play a fairly recent opponent when we get to that 8-9 game. But last week, tough week for us. Lose at Fresno, late game, and then the Wyoming game on Saturday. A rough game to start, to be honest. I think both teams struggled out of the gate. There was turnovers and missed shots and fumbled and shot clock violations, and then teams settled in a little bit, and it's right there. And then we go up 6 late, and they close out with a good run. We missed some scores and offensive rebound and a score and a foul, and just didn't finish it the right way or the positive way. And so that stings. For sure. So now we've got one more game here again with New Mexico for our guys to play in front of our home crowd before we finish on the road at CSU, which will be their senior day. And I know they got Carvacho and they've got guard come off the bench, a wing, 6'7" wing, but I think that's only maybe 2 seniors they have. So we were off yesterday, practiced this afternoon. Lavelle Scotty's got a dental appointment for graduation, so we moved practice back a little bit so he can get his teeth looked at. I'm asked the dentist to look at his arm, too, a little bit. But he's got that, so we'll practice today and then short tomorrow, and then New Mexico on Wednesday. Here we go.
Coach, I know you've tried to, or I would assume you tried to figure things out over the last month there. Have you come up with any solution?
And to just be perfectly honest, we're always honest. Because go back to watch all our games from last year, and we're this year. It's close. It is. And what's been fragile about it is probably our mental psyche. You win a game or 2 in that stretch, and then it's a positive like we did last year. Because we were 0-3, and then you get to 4-4. And then you're 6-8, but you got to 8-8, and then you finish 8-10. So the game at San Jose, if you flip that one, and then at Fresno at home, and then the UNLV game going back to Vegas. We're up early, and then they get the lead, and then it's down to a possession or 2 at the end, and then a Wyoming game, and even in the Mexico game there, it's fragile. If you had an opportunity to close out a possession and get a stop and get a score and you win, then things roll maybe in the other direction. So instead of 4-12, maybe you're 8-8 right now. But you can't change that. You got to keep moving forward. Our biggest probably weakness has been is getting stops in the right time in games. Whether it be a second or third opportunity, maybe stopping a drive but leaving a shooter open, and then he makes it, or getting to the shooter and then a drive is penetrated to the rim. So that's where we're at. And you keep teaching to the end, to the last game, to the last whistle, and we're working on those things today and try to clean it up for the game on Wednesday.
So off of that, then how important is it to get maybe even 2 wins this week going to the Mountain West Conference?
It'd be great to do it, just to get that positive reinforcement and to follow with a win or 2 to get into next week, and then you go play in a tournament in a one-and-done situation. So it is.
Have the seniors come to it all?
They have, and they've been to each other. And probably the next conversation when you get to this point, the next conversation probably has to be with yourself. Where are you at? How do you finish it? how do you fight it through, and how do you turn maybe a negative into a positive here, because you always have those opportunities. But they've been really good, and I think I've said that before. I got an email today from a retired military person who said, I guess after the game you wrote something about my affection to the seniors or something to that light, and appreciated that. And I love those guys, and you want it so bad for them. But it comes to a point where you got to draw a line in the sand and say, okay, enough's enough. I'm gonna get a stop. I'm gonna get a rebound. I'm gonna make a score, whatever it may be, and we'll keep pushing them until we get eliminated.
Coach, going back to the beginning of the season, expectations were really high just with those 5 seniors and everything.
Yeah.
Now to be a week out from the end of the year, is this like a shell shock of how the season kind of went?
Well, I think, and with this group, I'm not speaking for them, they appreciated that at the beginning, but I think it maybe hurt them as well, because of expectations, and now I got to live up to it. And you want to be at a point where you have expectations because where you finished last year. But now you've got to walk the walk, right? And there were signs early even, that, okay, we've got to get this better, because some of the games that we won last year were close, and you win them at the end, and they could have went the other way too. But great for us that we won them. But you always think as a coach that, they may not end that way. They may not come that way again this year. And when you didn't have some of that, we went on that stretch. I think the first point was 2-1, and you go to TCU, and Lavelle didn't play real well at home at Fort Worth. And we carried that over to Bahamas, and you lose 3, so you lose 4 straight. So now you're coming back. Well, we finally did get back to 6-6, I think it was, or 7-7. But we exhausted a lot to get back there. Now here comes conference play. Well, you open up conference at 1-1 in December, and then you come home, or you come back in January, and we go to Vegas and lose, but we even it up at 2-2 with a good win against Utah State, and then we lose at New Mexico. A really good game I thought we played. But then we come back at Boise at 3-3. But then after that, the CSU game here at home, played well. They were better. They win. And then it trickled after that, and there were some different things that happened, obviously, that aided in that. And then just to get them to recover, from a mental standpoint, more than a physical standpoint. And you fought that. I think we have fought that through that stretch, obviously. And then you get the win against San Jose, and you hope. But then now you drop 2 after that, and now, okay, here we go. You gotta play for yourself, play for each other, and they've done that. And they'll be in early, and they've stayed late. And guys were in yesterday getting shots up on a day off, and they're really good. They're really good character young men. Unfortunately, we've lost some games, and hopefully you would have won those during the stretch. So. You can't change that, but we can look forward and move forward and try to change what's coming up.
As you look forward, a week left in the season, then you have Mountain West Conference play. For the program and where it's heading, is it heading in the right direction? Do you feel like it's in a good place?
I do, and I always say that. I always will say that because I think we got some good young kids in, and hopefully they've learned through this adversity and where we're at, and you always reevaluate at the end of the year where you're at and how you can be better and do those things. But I'll say yes.
I know you did the senior day Saturday, but they still have another game.
They still have another game.
Can you, real quick, there's 5 of them. One quick thought of what you're going to remember about.
Okay, I'll start with LaShawn Brown. Great young man. It's going to be ultra successful. I usually want one word. I'm not going to be able to do one word. One thought. Okay. His character, the way he conducts himself, his GPA, his MPA, what he's going to do, his military family, he's a winner. Okay, after that, I'll go to Sid Tomes. Sid, it means more than anything for Sid, and probably we've gotten more ability out of Sid because he has some limitations, as we all do. His athletic ability, his speed, foot speed, but his toughness, his grit. And I told him this the other day. He's going to have a great military career, but I think Sid would be an unbelievable NBA front office guy. He loves the game. He knows the game. He understands relationships, which is more important than anything probably in the NBA. You read the article about Coach Beilein, and they talk about relationships and those type of things. I think Sid would be a great front office person in the NBA. Ryan Swan, just a big teddy bear. Just cares about everything, probably to a fault maybe sometimes. Has been unbelievable where he's, first year here, he didn't get a chance to play early because of some deficiencies academically, and where he's come now to the point where he's going to graduate and have some things. 1,000-point scorer. He's had some great games here, some 30-point games. Local. He's changed his projection of where he was heading maybe as a high school senior to where he's at now. So proud of him. Lavelle, where he has come from. I mean, wow. I never thought we would talk about him right now. Just be honest. I just never thought we'd talk about him right now. He is going to finish in the top scorers here in the history of Air Force basketball. He has done a lot. He's won some games for us. They all have won some games, and what he's going to move on to is just outstanding for him. And then Caleb Morris. Caleb is a San Diego kid who complains every day it's too cold here, and he's made some shots. He's developed great relationships. He's going to work. He and Ryan are going to be together the next couple of years, I think, working. Probably in the Air Force. I think they're going to probably make that work. And his family's proud of him, what he's done, and I'm proud of him. Just those 5 I'll remember forever. Do we wish we'd have won some more? Yes, we do. And we all do that. But, there's a great line in that movie Seabiscuit. You don't throw a whole life away because it's dinged up a little bit. And maybe our dings are just losses. But our dings aren't on their character. They've never been I've never been called up on the hill for anything they've done wrong. They've conducted themselves the right way. They're going to celebrate their graduation. I think they'll remain friends forever. And they're 5 good young men. Yeah.
Is there anything looking back that you would have changed with this approach?
Oh! Were you listening at home the last couple of weeks when I'm yelling at not yelling, I'm talking to my wife and she's not listening, some things. Yeah, there may be some things you tweak a little bit. Yeah, and maybe did this a little different or did this or did that. But you always think about that when you maybe don't have the success and the wins. Even do it when you win. You can we have won better or done it better or whatever. So, yeah, there are some things. But we never I think we've always treated them right. We've never shortchanged their experience. And I think we haven't attacked them or gone after them or done any of that. We've tried to coach them up and make them better. But maybe game planning a little bit or some rotations or different things, maybe. And I'll say this to a fault. My biggest fault forever, and probably whoever will always be, is loyalty. To always your older players. And I don't know if that's a bad thing, but maybe we'd have changed a few things. If I knew now what I knew then. Is that the thing? If I knew then what I know now. That's it. If I knew then what I know now. Yeah, probably.